Hello guys, and welcome back to Strategic Command World War II, World at War with our Allied playthrough. In the last episode, we took on the Soviet and British fronts. All we have remaining left for this turn of October 9th, 1942, about a month or so before the historical Operation Torch and Case Anton. Wonderful to see Case Anton. We'll see Torch at this rate, probably, albeit a little delayed and maybe too late to really even be worth it, but it is, in my brain, pretty useful for setting up what I have in mind. We do need to look at America, and we have a new upgrade, by the way. It's the ground attack weapons for all of our bombers, pretty much. No other land stuff. We had just finished the ground attack weapons research. Let's go ahead and get that back on the line and get that all the way up to level 3, the max, because we're going to be having a lot of action for our bombers over in North Africa once we do land there. That's the idea, anyway. We do have some movements to do in the Americas, namely, the Bradley HQ needs to get its way back to the East Coast, as does everything else that's coming from the West. We're just going to have them start running for the time being, while both of these armies get on their way to Dallas, and they should pop out right about here and start heading over as well as we get things in position. I'm in no rush to get this started while Japan is still a potential threat, and I am still working on fighting Japan with America, just in case our plans up here don't go as well as I had hoped. I am just not going to commit anything beyond special forces and island hopping campaigns for bringing down Japan now that the current situation is going as well as it has, although I will not retreat the American Navy for the time being, as that could still be handy. But as we've seen with the increasing amphibious capabilities of the nationalist Chinese, we don't actually need Americans in order to take Japan and make them surrender. So with that in mind, let's continue the little bit of island hopping we're doing here. Next target would be Eniwetok, which we have seen has an enemy special forces unit on it. So let's go sail up to that. There we go. With both of these units, we have varying results for some reason, despite having very similar stats. But we're going to go ahead and attack, dealing 3 damage, taking none with that first attack. Then 1 damage dealt, none received with the second attack. We do also have a new Special Forces group to deliver. We will deliver that to the Pacific Theater, as that is where I intended it to go from the very beginning, and that is where it will go even now. However, we definitely don't need to deliver any more than the 2 subs already out here to this region. I'll set this sub into silent, the S-42 sub, and we will send it this way. These 2 subs can keep pretty good attention to the region. We do have the Albacore sub that has deployed. We will go ahead and upgrade that with advanced subs now that we can. I do want to purchase an American unit. That may slow me down in other regards. However, it is a very expensive unit I wish to purchase. It is an HQ, and I think I will go ahead and put our good old friend Eisenhower in it with some anti-aircraft defense and mobility. It will take until January 7th for it to arrive. Not a huge delay, but I definitely want to get another HQ for America, planning on having the Americans pretty much solo their way through Africa as well as up into Italy if everything goes according to plan. For the time being, let's go ahead and purchase that. Eventually we might even get Patton, but if I'm assuming 5 or 6 units to every single HQ, this is already something I don't need just yet, but it will enable me in my head to pump out even more land army, be it army, mechanized, whatever the hell I wish to send. We will purchase Eisenhower's HQ right now, leaving us with 25 MPPs. We are sending like only armies out there at the start here. We have the HQ from Bradley with 2 other armies, and the 1 army that it has will have our HQ, and then we can get all kinds of armies. And is there artillery? Yeah, there's rocket artillery as well as heavy artillery that could be sent. The rocket artillery just looks like better in every single way, which is quite interesting. We can get a lot more land forces pumping out once we know we have an HQ, like an additional HQ, to really make use of all of it. But not just that, the air forces we send are going to make use of HQs. So as of right now, we can definitely get 1 or 2 more things going, but with the amount of air presence we're going to have over there, we might even end up needing another HQ. I definitely have situations where I could use other HQs like that. For example, with the UK over in Greece, But the one that can definitely afford to make the HQs and get them wherever the hell they want right now is America. At least, to where the intended target is and the future target. Once this Mediterranean is pretty much dominated by American air, getting a British HQ in here would be easy. For now, I'm going to rely on getting British colonial HQs up there to support a front and be able to pull more UK units off the front directly, instead replacing them with Sudanese and South African units. The current screen by wake, I'd say, is good enough for the time being, so we'll go ahead and get some of these destroyers over here placed in such a way to protect the Marine Special Forces divisions that I have deployed. Yeah, the heavy cruisers up front and generally, etc. should be fine enough. So long as we do some scouting to make sure that there's nothing getting beyond my view, we can assure that everything over here is pretty safe for the time being, and we can try to make sure that the Marine Division Special Forces here are also safe. And in fact, we can move this one over here and kind of form a closer protection of that. Leaves this open, but that's not a big deal. It's a little bit better protected, in my opinion, right now than it otherwise would be. Oh yeah, that reminds me, we do have another land force we can use, and that would be here, the Marine Division tanks. However, it cannot actually form a transport this instant. This is like a bug I feel like I've been seeing more and more of it. Maybe it's because the Somers Destroyer is taking up the port. I'm not sure. We do want to upgrade the Somers Destroyer, so I will go ahead and do that. The Texas battleship has the upgrades that it has needed. I will go ahead and put it over here with the carrier for the time being. The New York battleship still needs some improvements. With a lack of ability to put this in a transport right now. Actually, no, it might be just we can't afford it. But I'm not sure. We'll put it over by this dock for the time being. And we're going to want to get this in a transport. Probably a long-range transport. Getting it ready to go east with the landing forces that will be heading over to Algeria to invade that eventually. I do wonder how much time we're going to have left in the world by the time America gets to doing that invasion. But that looks like that's everything we're going to be doing for our turn. With all that figured out, let's go ahead and hit end turn and bring this into November, the historical Operation Torch date. Soviet morale is boosted by the capture of Königsberg. Hell yeah. Land units continue east. Allied vessels blockade Bordeaux. Alright. It's good to me. Australia-UK convoys disrupted. No longer the Canadian ones. Interesting. Indomitable hit by rough seas. Oof. Ukrainian nationalists formed the clandestine Ukrainian insurgent army to fight for independence. Oof, that's not good for us. UK develops ground attack weapons level 2. Tech. Heavy bombers level 2 for America. Tech. Command and control for America. Oh, that's really useful for the HQs. Hell yeah. And logistics up for America. Well, with that, we could definitely use the ability to operate units to get them ready to push eastwards sooner rather than later, technically speaking. Depends how soon we really want to do this. It's only 1942, so we're definitely in no rush, and we are way ahead of schedule. So that's why I'm not necessarily worrying about operating and just worrying about purchasing new units instead, as well as continuing my current operations and upgrades, reinforcements, and all that stuff. Now we'll see what the Axis will do. Some operating, as we can hear. Ooh, okay. Japanese destroyer arriving out here, coming towards Eniwetok, I suppose. Oh my god. Oh, they are going for the landing craft. And doing some fairly good damage. They are actually sailing out here to fight our fleets. Honestly, I didn't expect this from the AI. Huh. Oh my god, a carrier. Well, if they're over here, that means they're not over by China. Uh-oh. 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 Oof. Oof, we just lost that special forces. I didn't think that they'd come out here. Oh, they're going for the other one now. Holy crap. I really didn't see this coming. Oh my god, they brought the entire carrier squadron out here to sink my special forces. And now they're even trying to bombard my They want to have an all-out naval battle with me. They're coming over here and they're committing. They've sent their entire fleet over here, destroying a destroyer as we see. They've sent their entire fleet out here, going after my destroyers that are off on their own, and destroying the special forces on the transports. This is about the stupidest thing they could have done. Yes, they will be killing some American ships, but the thing is, the American ships were only just here just in case this situation happened. Meanwhile, the Chinese are invading Japan. Meaning, I now have the ability to attack the Japanese fleet with the American fleet for the exact purpose I was hoping to encounter. At the loss of some units, we're going to kill way more than we lost. Due to how close they are to us, they brought both of their remaining fleet carriers to us. All we have to do is maneuver well enough to get the battleships up to them, and that's it, they're dead. Holy crap. Losses aside, they're serving us a good situation on a platter. Looks like they have spotted and are bombing the Chinese transports, having just used all of their bombers they have available to kill one of the Chinese amphibious units. Which, with China, doesn't really matter very much because China can just keep spitting shit out like no tomorrow. The Japanese are striking out hard and heavy, man. Holy crap, I didn't expect such a resurgence. However, their navy is now pretty much at my whim. So that's going to be fun to deal with. I'm very excited to take that on. I did expect the Chinese to suffer casualties with their landings, so that's nothing too surprising. It keeps their air power and their other resources focused elsewhere, which I'm happy about. Let's see, we're running some CAT over Eastern Europe here. They're really going for my mechanized, not accomplishing a whole lot with it. The Arty is trying to strike out with 3 different attacks at us and not dealing any damage, which is impressive. Enemy Panzer are doing a lot of damage to this Soviet corps, completely wiping it out. Yeah, took a risk when I moved it up there, but German corps showing up at Kane. And they're still pushing, but their pushes aren't accomplishing a whole lot for them. Ooh, tricky. Still not killing that unit though. Using anti-tank to shoot at infantry, quite interesting. Alright. Not able to really stop where I have cut them off. Moving a new army or corps up to this southern front, as I see. Looks like another amphibious wave might be needed to just reinforce the units that I'm dropping off to the north at this rate. The Italian ships are moving somewhere, I don't know where. This submarine is moving somewhere, I don't know where. Hopefully not onto the American line, but I have enough destroyers here to deal with this. This corps is suffering attrition losses. The German that we surrounded to Kiev, hell yeah, finally. 221 group forms in India. Oh my god, why do they keep getting all these free air? Jesus Christ. Bordeaux still being destroyed of its supply. Like Christmas tops US charts. Don't see how that relates to World War II, but okay. Sure. Calculating supply. Alright. Probably, honestly, the worst turn we've had in a while. However, it's shaping up to be a very good following turn for us due to the amount of stuff that we're going to be able to kill. Seeing a lot of the enemy units getting spotted here. They have so many troops over by Manila. BEF is back together. Hell yeah. Medium bombers getting ready. What was that about a British battleship? Here's the one that evaded me. It's fucked, dude. This battleship is fucked. Well, with 2 special forces losses over here in their amphibious transports and the loss of a destroyer with some damage to it, you can say I'm pretty invested in what's about to happen over here. So, let's get started, shall we? We do have these destroyers up front, which are going to make life a little bit annoying. We're going to try to use the screens to get them out of the way and save the shots of the actual battleships, of which we have plenty, that are, going to be very excited to get some revenge. Let's send the Tuscaloosa heavy cruiser to go attack the Fubuki destroyer, dealing 4 damage, taking 1 damage. That allows us to use the Tuscaloosa for some searching. Ooh, it's injured. It's injured. Okay. Let's go ahead and use the New Orleans heavy cruiser to completely finish off the enemy destroyer here. What is the Americans' morale, by the way? 88%. Yeah. Yeah, that'll do that. Let me look at the reports real quick. The national morale reports. Yeah, losing those ships and losing those men probably really hurts your morale. But don't worry. Oh, don't worry. Because to get those kills, this is what the AI does best, right? They sacrifice ass loads, as we can see, to get barely anything back from it. Fighting a player, you know he's going to think long-term about pretty much everything, right? And here we have classic AI. If I can sink 2 special forces, which are not comparatively expensive to anything that we're about to sink, and if I could sink 1 destroyer and half hurt another one, that would be worth losing the rest of my carrier fleet. Can I remind you, 19 months to make 1 carrier? And all these other naval ships. So let's go ahead and take, let's see, the Astoria heavy cruiser, and let's use that on the Tsukaze destroyer. We have all our upgrades for a reason. And you know what? We have more stuff back here, although not all of it is up to snuff, however. We're gonna do more snooping around behind the enemy carriers here to see what they might be hiding. And make sure there's nothing that's gonna surprise us. I really think this is everything. Like, there might be something else down here in the Marshall Islands, but their carriers are just completely open to being sunk. I cannot believe they would be this stupid. Alright, let's take the Chicago heavy cruiser and go ahead and attack the Tsukaze destroyer over here. And then try to finish it off with the Brooklyn light cruiser. And there you go. The path for the battleships is open. Let's get the Massachusetts going down first, down here. And we'll send him after the Hiryu. Ooh, the Kaga's actually like experienced and has all these other things to it. We'll go after the Hiryu first. Dealing 4 damage, taking 2 damage, something of note, something of note. We'll want to make room, ideally, for the other ships, so we'll move away. We'll send the Idaho battleship forward, completely destroying the Hiryu carrier, getting a nice national morale bonus. And we still have more. Oh, do we still have more? So let's send the Texas battleship around the side. 3rd carrier, the Soryu, the Kaga, the Hiryu. Do they have more fleet carriers than I thought? I'm not sure, but they stupidly decided to send all of them over here. Alright, Texas, go after the Kaga. This is the biggest threat after all. They came here without even reforming all of their planes, amazingly. We'll send the North Carolina down to attack the Kaga. And, oh, it's almost dead. Not dead quite yet, but it's almost dead. We shouldn't need more than a destroyer to actually finish this off. Just don't know if we have the capability to get over there very easily. We do have 3 more, let's see, battleships capable. Both of these, I don't know if these are in intercept or bombing or what have you. And I don't quite know that I can see that information. But clearly bombing was quite important for them. We'll send the North Carolina away for the time being to open up room for the Maryland battleship, who's going to come down and attack the Soryu, dealing 6 damage. Holy crap, and moving it even closer to our forces. Alright, let's go ahead and bring the... Ooh, do you have a strike? No, you don't. The Colorado battleship down. Finishing off another actual carrier. Jesus Christ. Let's send the North Carolina down to go take a look down here, as well as the Massachusetts. And the Maryland can go look around. And ideally, we're setting up like a screen to box in the rest of their ships that are here. That's kind of the idea I'm having. Let's see. So, we ideally want to get the Leary destroyer to safety. That is for sure. We'll go ahead and naval cruise this all the way to the safest point in Honolulu. Unfortunately, this is out of range of a lot of my bombing capacity. However, still a terrible situation for the Japs to find themselves in. we will go ahead and try and, well, unfortunately, yeah, actually attacking the battleship or the carrier and finishing it off is going to have to be the responsibility of a battleship. So let's go ahead and finish it off. That's another dead battleship with all of its planes on board. With that, we'll stretch out our little screen of battleships here and move the carrier into position. I mean, it's already in a position where it can attack already. And we have many good targets, namely the battleships being the best ones. So let's set this into bomber mode now and start bombing these battleships that are never going to get away from us. Dealing 3 damage. We lost a little bit. Let's go ahead and bomb it again. Dealing another 3 damage and taking 1. Now, it is very, very possible that the crazy, crazy Japs decide, hey, let's focus everything on killing the Lexington carrier, even if it means we lose all the rest of the ships, which could be their entire navy. So for now, I'll take the Lexington and I'll send it northwest up towards Wake, just to try to get it out of harm's way. I don't think any of this is going to be escaping from me anytime soon, regardless. I assume it's because they were sunk at sea, but I actually cannot reform those special forces for a cheap price. So they are perma-gone, which means that the special forces that has arrived is our only one now. It's our only one. The other 2 are gone. So realistically, with how China's ambitions over here have been going, I will probably put this special forces over to the east. Because, well, we have another one building, right? For America? Yeah, there is another one. However, sending them out into the Pacific at this point will take a little bit. And at this point, the Japanese are, well, yeah, they're down to 38%. They're losing crazy amounts of morale already. And we're back up to 91%. They picked an interesting task. And they're losing their whole navy because of it, which is going to make getting them to surrender even easier. I guess with the commitment of their forces, I should take the opportunity to start getting my submarines heading down to where the fighting is happening. Maybe as an intercept. We don't know where they're really going to go. They might try to get to the carrier, so getting 1 submarine over there would certainly be handy. It's this one out of silent mode and start heading that down southeast as well would be rather useful. And with that, hopefully we can guarantee the destruction of what appears to be the remaining Japanese fleet. And with that, the US Navy's job here will be done. With a desire to keep my remaining carriers safe, I'm going to sail the Aylwin all the way up northwest to kind of form a blocking maneuver on it. We will send the Somers destroyer over here to try to block it off as well. We have 709 MPPs that we can spend. We will put some of it into researching the next heavy bombers and the next logistics, which leaves me with 434. We do need to reinforce the New York battleship. It doesn't need to run into this conflict for any reason. We can get the Marine Division tanks here on a long-range amphibious, which I believe I will just go ahead and pay for that right now. It's a lot of money, but it will be worth it. We'll leave it where it is right now, just because it's a little bit safer at this location than it would be somewhere else. We will go look at the Americas and upgrade this special forces with infantry weapons level 2. We will also upgrade that Mexican Corps to get it up to snuff. No idea where it's going to go now, because with the way things are going, it won't be needed in the Pacific. Even if there are more defenders of Japan than I expect, the Chinese will be able to overwhelm them in time, no matter any losses. So I'm not too afraid, to be honest. I think the Navy of Japan faltering here is all we need, because we already have our foothold. We just use the Chinese over there. America goes and focuses on Europe, shuffles everything around over there, and it's pretty much over for them. Our forces on the East Coast can go and take the nice long way to getting ready, which honestly a lot of them can just get ready here at Houston. I don't even need to go all the way to the coast like I've been doing. This is a little bit of just like a waste of time, to be honest. What I've been doing is not nearly as efficient as just going down to Houston. So we'll send these other 2 armies down to Houston in the meantime. There you go. Where they will be able to get in long range. Well, actually this one won't be. This one is and undo does not work when you finish your points. Undo is so useless in this game. It can be used in so few instances. But we're going to be able to start getting our forces ready for deployment, honestly, really, really soon. We have this one, the Third Army, which I guess I'll send up this way to try to get to the coast. Getting our long-range transports ready and kind of collected together. And moving over to the east, and it's going to be probably pretty easy. I don't think these are going to get spotted because they're not going to be lingering anywhere. They're just going to show up, declare war, and then curb stomp these motherfuckers, and they'll have the protection of the British fleet. So that'll be nice. For America, I will go ahead and get some rocket artillery purchasing. I'll give it artillery weapons and AA defense. I can't afford to give it mobility right now. However, when it arrives, I will give it to it. I just want to get it making, since there's like a 3-month delay. And I want this to arrive to assist with our delayed Operation Torch and the invasion of Italy, as I think it would be pretty handy. And seeing as it's the best artillery we can get, I will get this before I invest in getting another HQ, which we are probably going to want over there. We could always move MacArthur, but I would rather just use Bradley and then get Patton, and we're already using Eisenhower. I see command and control finish because everyone's ratings just went up. Jesus Christ. So yeah, let's get that rocket artillery purchasing for the time being. The investment into another HQ will be an expensive thing that we will have to do. I'm just happy that we are going to be hurting the Japanese fleet this much, and they walked right into it. I don't know how much more damage they're going to be able to do. The AI is pretty good about focusing down like just one ship and only one ship, but after losing both of its carriers, its morale's down to 38% currently, and there's no way this shit's escaping. There's absolutely no way that this shit is gonna escape. We'll move the Arkansas around here to really try to create a wall to stop the enemies from getting away. We'll send the light cruiser back to defend. This is pretty guarded due to the situation here. So what I'll do here, they might just go south, but if they go south, it won't matter too much to a heavy cruiser, but I'll put the heavy cruiser somewhere that can kind of keep an eye on the rear of this region, while the battleships remain up front with the majority of the enemy fleet here. The battleships are going to be really hard for the enemies to deal with only 2 battleships remaining and 2 heavy cruisers, and I don't think they have much else over here. The only carrier they have remaining, I think, now is just an escort carrier, and that's not good at really fighting enemy ships. It's good at fighting enemy submarines and planes. That's about it. So, let me know what you guys think of these massive developments. These Japs still have a lot of fight in them, huh? Not for long, in my opinion. Who knows what they have on the mainland of Japan if they're surprising us with a naval attack like this. The Chinese might have a longer fight ahead of them than I would have expected. But, again, not much the US can do to assist with that. For now, though, we're going to end this here. So thank you guys very much for watching, and I'll see you on the next one.